Do you know what happens when you get into bed as if your body had a magic reset button? Nothing resets. The night doesn't erase what you accumulated during the day. It amplifies it. And if you lie down with your heart racing from arguments, with your stomach struggling after a heavy dinner, with alcohol to relax, or with stimulants you swore didn't affect you, you're playing roulette with your blood pressure, your heart rhythm, and your rest. Then you're surprised when you wake up with palpitations, a strange pain, anxiety, or that feeling that something isn't right. Of course. What a mystery. Stay with me. Gabriel here. Welcome to the Stoic Garden. Today we're going to go through 8 things many people do before going to sleep that can quietly push your body into dangerous territory. And at the end, you'll have a smart, simple nighttime routine you can actually use to slow things down, sleep more calmly, and reduce risks without living paranoid. Let's begin. 1. Avoid going to bed with your heart racing from arguments, news, or stress, because the bed is not an emotional emergency room where you arrive, collapse, and everything magically fixes itself. If you come from a fight, from reading tragedies, from scrolling through the news like you're the editor of the world, your body doesn't hear your "I'm going to sleep now." Your body hears threat. And when it hears threat, it switches to guard mode. You don't feel it like an alarm with a siren. It feels like tightness in the chest, a clenched jaw, raised shoulders, short breathing, repetitive thoughts. That's your sympathetic nervous system at work, the same system that helps you run, fight, or survive. The problem is that you activate it to reply to a message, to win an argument, to get outraged at a screen, and then you want to switch it off like a lamp. You lie down and the body does the opposite of what you need. Your pulse goes up, your blood pressure rises, your vessels constrict, and sleep becomes shallow. And in people with hypertension, arrhythmias, sleep apnea, chronic stress, or simply bad genetic luck, that mix of nighttime tension can push things toward ugly events. Not because the universe is dramatic, but because your physiology is literal. If you press the accelerator, the engine responds. In the middle of the night, when the brakes should be in charge, your mind keeps arguing by itself, inventing replies you didn't say, replaying what someone did to you, what you should have done. Do you really think the heart understands wounded pride and unfinished debates? No. It only understands chemical signals, and if you send it adrenaline, it behaves like a heart under threat. And here comes the uncomfortable truth. Many people don't collapse because of one huge scare. They wear themselves down with small repeated surges, night after night, until the body finally says enough. That's why some people sleep 8 hours and wake up as if they fought a war. It's not rest, it's surveillance. Your body is on patrol while you think you're switched off. The Stoics, who didn't have screens but had plenty of human chaos, understood this with brutal clarity. Epictetus insisted that what disturbs you is not what happens, but the judgment you make about what happens. And that phrase isn't poetry, it's mental hygiene. Because when you go to bed with your judgment fired up, you go to bed with your body fired up. So if you want to sleep like a human being and not like a cornered animal, change the last stretch of your day. If there was an argument, break the chain before your head hits the pillow. If there was news, close the door on it. If there was stress, lower the volume of your thoughts with something simple. Slow breathing, a hot shower, writing down what's spinning in your head, even quietly telling yourself that this continues tomorrow when you're clearer. Your ego wants the fight. Your body wants life. Going to bed calm isn't being zen. It's being intelligent. It's treating your heart like a real organ instead of a secondary character in your emotions. Because if you don't slow down before sleep, don't demand that your body give you peace. Peace is prepared, not begged for. 2. Don't go to bed right after eating a heavy or late meal. Some people eat dinner as if they're shoveling coal into a locomotive, and 5 minutes later, they want the body to turn into a cloud. It doesn't work that way. Eating a heavy meal late is asking your digestive system to work a full night shift while you're trying to sleep. And when the body is working, sleep pays the bill. A full stomach pushes upward, increases reflux, irritates the throat, and alters breathing. The body temperature rises, blood moves toward digestion, and that can keep the pulse higher than it should be. Deep sleep becomes scarce, awakenings appear, snoring gets louder, and people who already have sleep apnea or excess weight may even experience choking episodes. and every micro-awakening is a small burst of stress. Then there's the metabolic side. A very heavy, salty or sugary dinner late at night can trigger glucose spikes, fluid retention, and higher blood pressure. And no, you don't have to feel bad for it to be a problem. The body doesn't send notifications like your phone, it just accumulates. In the middle of this whole situation, ask yourself something honestly. What do you think your heart does when you force it to digest, compensate, stabilize blood pressure, and breathe worse because of your position, all at the same time, and at the exact time it should be recovering? Exactly, it works. And a heart working at night is not a heart resting. Musonius Rufus, a Stoic teacher famous for his practical discipline, said it bluntly: anyone who cannot govern their simplest appetites will struggle to sustain higher decisions. He didn't say that to make you feel guilty. He said it because he knew small things rule big things. If you can't say no to a late and excessive dinner, how will you say yes to your health when it truly demands consistency? The solution isn't living on lettuce or punishing yourself. It's timing and judgment. Eat earlier when you can, keep it lighter, and let the body reach bed with the work already done, not with the construction still in progress. If you're genuinely hungry, adjust during the day. If it's anxiety disguised as hunger, don't feed it with fat and salt at midnight and then act surprised. And if this happens because of routine, because you work late or your life is poorly organized, don't lie to yourself with, "That's just how it is." What exists can be changed. Small, consistent adjustments weigh more than one perfect week, followed by 3 chaotic months. Your body doesn't need drama, it needs coherence. Sleeping with a bursting stomach is like trying to put out a house fire while leaving the stove on. Then you say, "My sleep is bad." No, your preparation is bad. And as harsh as that sounds, it's in your hands. If you care about yourself, you start there. 3. Don't mix alcohol, sleeping pills, and remedies without medical supervision, because that combination isn't rest, it's blind chemistry. And the worst part is that many people do it with an innocent smile, as if the body were a blender that can handle any mixture while you sleep. Great. Alcohol already disrupts sleep on its own. It may knock you out quickly, yes, but later it fragments the night, worsens snoring, aggravates sleep apnea, and leaves you waking up exhausted. Now add sleeping pills, anti-anxiety medications, antihistamines for allergies that you actually use as sedatives, or anything someone recommended because it works for me. The risk isn't just feeling groggy the next day. The risk is depressing breathing too much, lowering reflexes, altering heart rhythm, increasing falls, confusion, vomiting while asleep, and waking up in a body that can't regulate itself well. And here's what nobody wants to admit. You're not controlling your sleep, you're anesthetizing it. Do you see the difference? Sleeping is an active process. The body regulates hormones, blood pressure, recovery, and memory. Anesthetizing is switching off the dashboard without fixing the engine. And when you do it night after night, you start needing more to get the same effect. Sleep becomes a debt business. Today you pay with a drink and a pill. Tomorrow the body charges you with anxiety, palpitations, and fatigue. If you're taking something prescribed, this isn't a moral lecture. It's a survival reminder. Adjusting doses on your own, mixing substances, or combining them with alcohol to boost the effect is playing with a system that can fail without warning. And yes, some people do it and nothing happens. Some people also drive without a seatbelt and arrive safely. That's not intelligence, it's luck. The Stoic approach here isn't pretending to be tough and enduring insomnia through sheer force. The Stoic approach is order. It's respecting the body as an ally, not as an enemy you have to knock out so it shuts up. If insomnia is constant, if nighttime anxiety is frequent, if you depend on strange combinations to sleep, the solution isn't improvisation. The solution is speaking with a professional, reviewing causes, adjusting habits, and stopping treating your health like a home experiment. Your bed isn't a bar, a pharmacy without prescriptions, or a laboratory for "let's see what happens." If you want peace, don't manufacture it with combinations that could cost you dearly. 4. Don't go to bed dehydrated or overloaded with fluids and salt at night, because extremes, as always, send you the bill. Some people reach bed with a dry mouth, a heavy head, and a stiff body because they spent the day on coffee and "I'll drink water later." Others drink half a liter right before bed and then wake up 3 times to urinate, breaking their sleep into pieces as if that didn't matter. Dehydration at night isn't just uncomfortable. It can raise heart rate, promote cramps, give you headaches, worsen sleep quality, and in some people contribute to the body feeling more tense by default. And when rest is already fragile, any small disruption adds up. The other extreme is a trap too. If you flood yourself with liquids late at night, your sleep fragments and the body moves in and out of deep phases as if you were shaking it awake. You don't rest. You survive the night. And the salt issue at night is a classic modern self-deception. Salty dinner, salty snack, sauces, fast food, and then you go to bed with fluid retention, higher blood pressure and thirst. What did you expect? That the body would say, "Okay, I won't react today"? In people with hypertension, kidney issues, or a tendency to retain fluids, that combination can be an especially bad idea. Think about it for a moment. If your sleep gets interrupted by thirst, by trips to the bathroom, by heaviness, by mild palpitations, what do you think your nervous system does every time you wake up? It activates, and every activation is a small rise in stress. One won't kill you. 50 nights like that slowly tune the body for the worst moment. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire while his body was wearing down, had a blunt way of putting it. If something is under your control, act. If it isn't, let it go. He wasn't talking about hydration, of course, but the idea fits perfectly. During the day, you can control the water you drink, what you eat, what you choose. At night, you're already late. Nighttime isn't for fixing things, it's for recovering. Keep it simple and adult. Hydrate well during the day. Reduce the flood of liquids late at night, and don't turn dinner into a salt festival. It's not obsession, it's respect for your rest. Because sleeping well isn't about luck. It's about not sabotaging yourself before you close your eyes. 5. Don't smoke or use stimulants before bed, even if they relax you. And yes, I can already hear you. The cigarette calms you down, the vape helps you unwind. A little coffee doesn't affect you, that pre-workout helps you train late. The soda is light. Perfect. And while you tell yourself that story, nicotine and caffeine are doing what they do, speeding up your system, tightening your blood vessels, raising your pulse, pushing up your blood pressure, and stealing the most valuable thing sleep has to offer: depth. The body doesn't distinguish between "I'm alert because there's danger" and "I'm alert because I took a stimulant." It just receives the signal and responds. That's why you fall asleep and then wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning with your heart feeling off, your mind switched on with that discomfort you can't quite name. It's not a mystery, it's chemistry and habit. And there's another trap that's even more ridiculous. A lot of people smoke right before bed because they think it closes out the day, like some kind of off switch. In reality, it's a small jolt. And then, when the nicotine drops, the withdrawal pull kicks in and fragments your sleep without you even noticing. You wake up tired, load yourself with more caffeine the next day, smoke again at night, and that's how you build yourself a cage with your own hand. In the middle of all this, ask yourself one simple question. If your goal is for your heart to slow down and for your blood vessels to relax, why are you giving it exactly what makes them work harder? It's not that you're a bad person. It's that you're treating yourself as if you were indestructible. And the whole "it relaxes me" line deserves its own slap. A lot of things feel relaxing because they soothe an anxiety they helped create in the first place. It's like scratching an itch you caused yourself. It gives relief, sure, but it doesn't heal you. It trains you to depend on it. This isn't about perfection. It's about not sabotaging the most important part of your recovery. If you're going to cut something, cut what truly speeds you up at night. Reduce caffeine in the afternoon. Don't turn your bedroom into a vaping zone, and understand that your body is trying to survive your decisions, not adapt the way you think it is. Your sleep doesn't need a chemical push. It needs you to stop hitting the accelerator right before turning off the lights. 6. Don't ignore nighttime warning signs and learn to respond in time. Because this is where a lot of people become brave in the dumbest possible way. They wake up with a strange pain in the chest and decide that it was probably dinner. They get up short of breath and convince themselves that it's anxiety. They break into a cold sweat, feel a bad wave of dizziness, a pressure that climbs into the neck or arm, and all they do is roll over and hope it passes. as if the body were putting on a show just to get attention. And listen, not every nighttime symptom is a heart attack or a stroke, and nobody here is diagnosing you. But there's a huge difference between staying calm and being negligent. Calm means observing and acting with a clear head. Negligence means minimizing because you're scared. And fear makes you slow, makes you proud, makes you say, "I'll see in a bit." There are warning signs you do not negotiate with. A strong pressure in the chest that isn't normal for you, sudden trouble breathing, palpitations that come with weakness or fainting, a sense of impending doom you can't explain. And with a stroke, it's even clearer. One side of the face drooping, one arm not responding the same way, slurred speech, sudden confusion, a brutal headache like nothing you've ever felt before. If something like that shows up, that is not the moment to wait and see if it goes away. In the middle of the night, ask yourself this without drama. What do you gain by staying quiet and still other than wasted time? Because if it's something serious, time is literally muscle and brain. And if it turns out not to be serious, you still learn to take yourself seriously, which is already more than most people do. Seneca, who spent years watching how people fool themselves to avoid facing what's obvious, said that we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. And it applies perfectly here, but in the opposite way you think. Some people imagine that it's nothing because reality scares them, and that imagination, that denial, can cost dearly. So decide with dignity. If a strong, unusual warning sign shows up, something that scares you for a reason, act. Call emergency services. Wake someone up. Get help. Don't play the silent hero in your room. Heroism is not enduring symptoms. Heroism is asking for help in time. Sleeping in peace means this too. Not living paranoid, but not living in denial either. Because your life is worth more than your nighttime pride. And if you don't understand that, your body will teach it to you in the harshest way possible. 7. Don't sleep without a routine. And I'm not talking about some influencer routine with 40 steps, scented candles, and a 40-page journal. I mean the basics, the things that tell your brain one clear message. There's no more fighting, no more stimulation, no more world. Now it's time to come down. Because if you end the day with screens in your face, white light in your eyes, and your mind jumping from video to video, you're not closing out the day. You're extending it. You go to bed with your brain in casino mode, lights, sound, dopamine, alertness, and then you're surprised your heart doesn't cooperate. Of course it's worked up. You left it at the starting line with the engine already running. And the problem isn't just, it's hard for me to fall asleep. It's that you sleep worse, more shallowly, more broken up, more reactive. And when the body sleeps badly, it becomes more sensitive to stress, high blood pressure, inflammation, and anxiety. In someone vulnerable, a bad night isn't an inconvenience. It's extra strain. And you're not looking for a life with extra strain, are you? At some point in the night, you have to ask yourself honestly, do you really think you can feed your brain an hour of content that ramps it up, and then expect it to behave like a Tibetan monk? No. The brain is trained, not tricked. If you feed it noise, it will give you noise back. Your nighttime routine is the switch. Lower screens, lower light, lower temperature, lower intense conversation, and while you're at it, slow your breathing. Breathing is the rope that ties you to the body. If you breathe fast and shallow, your nervous system understands that something is happening. If you breathe slowly and deeply, the body starts to let go. And here comes the practical part without the drama. If your room feels like an oven, you're going to wake up. If your bedroom looks like a movie theater lit in blue, it's going to take longer. If your mind arrives carrying 1,000 unfinished things, it's going to fire up. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. A repeated wind down, even a simple one, teaches the body to trust. A routine isn't a quirk, it's respect for your biology. And if you don't give yourself that respect before bed, don't complain when you wake up with your heart in guard mode. 8. Build a smart nighttime wind down to lower risk and sleep in peace. Because what you do in the last half hour of the day is like the tone with which you close a door. If you slam it, you take that tension to bed with you. If you close it firmly, the body understands the day is over. Let me tell you something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. It's not that your life is stressful. It's that you're leaving the door open to stress until the very last second. You go to bed with unfinished conversations, unorganized problems, loose thoughts like exposed wires. And then you expect your nervous system to perform magic in the dark. A smart nighttime wind down is not some mystical solution. It's a small ritual of order. You get ready whatever you can for tomorrow, even if it's only in your head or on a short note. You let go of what doesn't depend on you, even if it's hard. You slow the pace with something simple, a slow breath, a shower, a few minutes without a screen. If you need water, drink it, but don't flood yourself. If you're truly hungry, choose something light, not a feast. And if you notice that you're worked up, acknowledge it instead of covering it with alcohol, food, or it'll pass. In the middle of that wind down, ask yourself a question that's worth gold. Is what I'm doing right now bringing me closer to rest, or is it just distracting me from what I'm feeling? Because there's a huge difference between calming yourself and numbing yourself. And you already know which one leaves you worse the next day. Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor and still forced himself to train his mind like an ordinary citizen, wrote it in brutally simple terms. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, so guard carefully what you allow to live in your mind. That's not a pretty quote. It's a nighttime warning. If you go to bed with dirty thoughts, resentment, fear, or noise, your body will sleep inside that atmosphere. So end the day like someone who respects himself, not like someone who abandons himself and then acts surprised when he's falling apart. Your nighttime wind down is a statement. You're telling your heart you don't have to stay on guard. You're telling your mind tomorrow we solve it in the light, not with anxiety. And when you do that night after night, you don't just sleep better, you live better. Because in the end, sleeping in peace is a form of dignity. At the end of the day, night is not a blackout. It's a test. You lie down and your body keeps working with the last thing you gave it. Noise, heavy food, chemicals, salt, screens, stress, or a false calm that's actually speeding it up. And then you ask why you wake up with your chest feeling off, your mind restless, or your sleep broken. The way you end the day is a form of respect, and when you respect your rest, you're also protecting your heart. So keep it simple and serious. Stop getting into bed as if you were invincible. Slow down before sleep, eat with judgment and on time, don't improvise with alcohol and pills, hydrate during the day instead of trying to fix it at 3 in the morning, cut out stimulants. And if your body sends you a strong signal, don't play the silent tough guy. This isn't about living in fear. It's about living intelligently because real danger almost always arrives disguised as routine. If this helped you, subscribe to the channel and join me in this training because we're not here to survive life. We're here to govern ourselves from within. And leave a comment with this phrase, "My rest is sacred." And if you want, also write what country you're watching from so we can see how big this garden really is and who's growing it with you. I'm Gabriel, and this was the Stoic Garden. On screen, you'll see 2 recommended videos so you can keep going deeper and build that calm that doesn't depend on luck. It depends on your decisions. See you in the next one. And tonight, act like someone who plans to be here for a long time.